Hey friends, welcome back to Law Creations. Welcome back to another video. I apologize for not being as active as usual, but I took a little bit of time to learn a new hobby and just really concentrate on learning the basics of resin printer. So resin printing. So I went ahead and I purchased a Elegoo Mars 2 printer. I made my decision by looking at the reviews, by looking, at the different specs and, the credibility of the company. So I was really happy with that particular purchase. The Elegoo Mars 2 Pro, it runs like a champ right out of the box. Such an easy setup. And with factory settings, I went ahead and just started printing. I didn't even print the test file. I didn't have the patience for the test file. I just wanted to jump in and start printing, and that's what I did. So I want to show you a couple models that were done on the Elegoo Mars 2 Pro. And this particular Batman I did for my daughter. I got the file off of Thingiverse. I do have to paint it up a little bit better, but this thing printed awesome. And it's nice and solid. I gave it a little bit of a base, but so that's the Elegoo Mars 2. That's really pretty good detail. I really like that. Sorry, my camera is moving, but my cat is bumping into it. So, but yeah, I'm really happy with this particular model, and that's the Elegoo Mars 2 Pro. This is the I think the first print I actually printed off of it, and it took about 5 hours to print. So another one that I did off of the Elegoo Mars 2 was this Darth Maul bust. If you can see it. It's really tough to see in the light, but it's a really good resemblance of his face. You got the texture in the cloth material. The hand is really nicely textured. And the posing is really cool. I gave it my own little base that I made on my filament printer. And of course you got the lightsaber in the back here that I already broke twice and had a glue. So definitely the thin piece is fragile. And I printed all this with Elegoo standard resin gray. And I think it's $13.99 for 500 milliliters, I believe it is, on Amazon, and that's the cheapest, and that's what I'm going to keep using because the quality is fantastic. I really wish you could see the face sculpt here. Let me turn my other light on, see what I can do. But yeah, anyway, the likeness is phenomenal. I don't know, it's got to be because of the hood, but anyway, if you can really see the detail that it does print with. Very nice. And this particular monstrosity here is... So this I subscribe to a Patreon on Patreon, obviously. And I think it was Star Wars Models is the name of it. But they're part of 3D Wicked 3D. And you have this, you have Marvel, and you have DC, and they're all part of the same, kind of somewhat the same Patreon. So, and then I printed this Moon Knight. It's not nearly completed, but this was on the Elegoo Mars 2 Pro, and the detail's phenomenal. It came out really good. I obviously have to finish it and touch it up. I still got to do the mask, but that gives you a good idea of, the quality that you can get with this particular printer. And to be honest, I paid $173 for the Elegoo Mars 2 Pro. And the only downside, it may not be a downside for others, but for me, the only downside is it's a very small build plate. But if you're printing small minis and miniatures and, just small items, it's perfect. But I wanted to print more. Don't get me wrong, I love printing stuff like this. This was all in pieces, like you would print the arm separately, the head separately, part of the cape separately, the base separately. So a lot of time goes into printing a model like this because you can't fit the whole thing on your build plate. So you do it in pieces. So it is possible to do larger pieces on the Pro, but you have to do it in sessions and in pieces. So, but it is possible. But that's the Moon Knight. Obviously, I got to paint them up. The only really error I had here was a little bit of 2 lines, which I have no idea why. I'm still learning the printer. I haven't changed any settings in it due to the fact that it printed great right out of the factory setting. So because I wanted to build larger, I went ahead and pulled the trigger on the Elegoo Saturn, which is a lot larger of a build plate. Pretty much the same machine. I think the Saturn is a 4K resolution, and then the Mars 2 Pro is a 2K, I believe. I'm not an expert at this, and it's not even an official review of these machines. I'm just telling you my experience with my limited knowledge. It's been pretty foolproof, and it's been very user-friendly so far. So I've been really happy with the prints I've been able to achieve, really not knowing much. So the next few prints I'm going to show you were done on the Elegoo Saturn, and I was able to print much larger scale in one piece, so it saves a lot of time in printing. So I started out small. I started out with some minis, and this probably is my favorite, this particular werewolf. I really hope you can see the detail here with the stone, the rock, all the fur pieces. Even what strikes me is the hands. I really love the hands. And this one's going to be a blast to paint. I just did it, and I did the base because I just wanted to display him, and he'll be fun to paint. But I hope it's capturing the detail in these particular figures. So this is the Saturn, and it's a fantastic machine. It's been so user-friendly. The bed leveling is fantastic. It's nothing like the Ender 3 Pro where you got to spend maybe an hour adjusting knobs. And for me, it was a pain. It was nice when you achieved it and could get a good print. But resin printing with the Elegoo printers so far for me has been very painless. So, and obviously I'm not what is it? They don't sponsor this video, Elegoo, by any means. I'm just giving you my honest opinion, and that's all. And so, but my main goal was I want to print larger pieces because I want to make dioramas for other type of inspiration, other type of models. The Star Wars, the Marvel, different things start to get old and stale for me. And I just needed to revamp some inspiration for me. So in regards to resin printing, the inspiration is endless. It's all an issue of just finding some decent STL files and printing them out, and just learning from your mistakes and so on and so forth. So this guy's really cool. He's pretty awesome. And then I did this particular one. So this one and a couple others I'm going to show you is from Loot Studios, which is amazing. So I subscribe to their website, and I'll get different files every month. So I love supporting folks like that, and their supports are amazing. Like they're very easy to remove and clean up. So this werewolf was quite simple. And I did this particular warrior. So I think he's like pot man, pot wolf, and I think he has the the ability to change into a wolf, because there is another print where this particular warrior is a wolf. So is a werewolf. I mean, look at the spikes, look at the detail. Look at the detail on the axe. And just so on and so forth on the boot. If you guys hopefully can see it. And there's his wolf patch or medallion. And even in the face, you know you got a scar. Hopefully you can see it. And some facial hair. And on the back, the cape is awesome with the fur. So yeah, that's printed on the Saturn, and that's Loot Studios. That was really fun to print. So this one's primed. This one's the gray resin from Elegoo, and that's what the difference is in the colors. Primed, not primed. So, and then this one is pretty creepy and pretty cool. It's I hope I can pronounce his name correctly. It's not Nastafaru, the old black and white vampire from, I actually think it's 100 years old. It's very old. I don't even know if it's 100, but it's old, this particular. And Loot Studios kind of put their own spin on it, and it's a fantastic sculpt. Like, this is going to be a lot of fun to paint and eventually make a diorama for. But for you folks that stuck this video out, I'm going to show you exactly why I got the Saturn and exactly why I wanted to start 3D printing. So I did a larger version of this character. So right here is my larger Nastafaru, I guess would be his name. And I upscaled him 200%. He came pre-supported, Loot Studios, and I didn't lose an ounce of detail. The sculpt is just amazing, and I didn't have anywhere as a failure. It was an original 75 millimeter model, STL, and I think that's usually about 2.9 inches maybe. And then this particular piece I upscaled to 200%, and it took just fine. The models were pre-supported, so I didn't have to mess with that. The supports came off, a little more difficult, because as you upscale, even the supports upscale as well. They get thicker and a little bit harder to remove. So, but that's why I brought the printer. So this guy measures about 6.5 inches tall as is, but obviously if he was articulated and you can stand him, he'd probably be about 7 inches. So this is a perfect piece to make a diorama for, and I couldn't probably capture something like this anywhere action figure wise. Yeah, he's stagnant. Yeah, he has no articulation, but I usually keep my figures in just one pose, and I don't pose them in a crazy manner. But in regards to a pose, this is a really pretty good pose, actually. And just everything down to the teeth and the wrinkles in the neck and the head. Even the hands and the fingernails. I don't know if you can see that. Down to the ripped clothes and the exposed, decayed skin, the tear in the pants, and the feet. It's just a really awesome model. See, and just this glove here, this little glove, you can see the detail in that, which is really amazing. This is the inspiration I needed. This is the inspiration that will get me really get the juices flowing a little bit towards creating dioramas for these models. I don't want to just do Marvel and just the run-of-the-mill action figure I want to do, a variety, and I think this will really help me along the way. Not only that, it's a wonderful display figure for anybody that's into horror like this, which I am. Horror, fantasy, sci-fi, all that's right up my alley. So, and I have to be honest, this is relatively cheaper than buying Metzco or SH Figure Arts. Yeah, you use a little bit of resin, but one bottle of resin will go a long way. This only, how much did it say? I think it was only 167 milliliters of resin it took, and one bottle, like I was saying, is 500 milliliters, and the bottle runs you $13.99 for the standard gray resin. And I just want to talk about the cleanup process. A lot of people complain about the cleanup process, but I actually enjoy it and have enjoyed it. I am looking at like mean green and a simple green as a cleaning solution, because the IPA can be a little harsh in regards to the odor and working with. In regards to the smell for the resin, I didn't find it overly smelly. I did purchase on Amazon these Elegoo filters here. It has a carbon filter inside. I guess the only downside is they don't make replacement carbon filters, so I think you have to buy these all separately, or I'm sure there's a way that you can put, customize some kind of filter in there. But this does a great job for the odor. This eliminates pretty much 99% of the odor in regards to printing. So I have it in my studio. I have no window in here, but I did want, even before I bought these, the odor was bearable. It wasn't crazy strong, but nonetheless, it still had an odor. And just to err on the side of caution, I wanted to, get myself a filter, so I'm not sitting down here breathing it. The printers are very quiet; they're not loud at all. So this guy's gonna be my next diorama. And not only that, the process of cleaning it adds to the enjoyment of producing something, quality like this. You got to clean it really well. And I just use buckets of IPA. I use a paintbrush to scrub them, a soft paintbrush, and things like that. It's important just get all the resin off, and then I dry it, and then I throw it out in the sunlight, and it cures. But yeah, that's my schmeal on resin printing. I'm really glad I pulled the trigger. I'm very happy to be able to create this from a liquid. Obviously, I don't make the STLs. There's many talented people out there for that. But there is a learning curve to the resin printing. But I have to be honest with you, it took me longer to understand the Ender 3 Pro than it did for me to learn the Elegoo Mars 2 Pro and the Elegoo Saturn. And those are phenomenal. Do I know everything? Absolutely not. I don't even... If you ask me about specs and all things like that, I am clueless. But at the end of the day, when I take the print off and I see something, even the quality of this, and I know there's better machines out there, 8K resolution and all that, but I have to tell you, I'm extremely happy with this. So, yeah, I think I paid $173 for the Mars 2 Pro on Amazon, and I paid like $300 for the Saturn on Amazon. You just look for it to go on sale and you get it, and you're covered with a year warranty through Amazon, and I have no complaints at all. It's been a great experience, and once you find some really good, decent files, you can go ahead and stop printing. Yeah, so I'm really happy. I'm really happy with the new hobby, with the new learning curve, and always wanting to push myself to learn. And now I get to along with the dioramas, I get to paint this guy up. And that's the nice part. He doesn't come already pre-painted. I can customize him and paint him any way I want. And yeah, so I appreciate you guys watching. I know this is a little bit of a long video, but I just wanted to show you why I haven't been making many dioramas. Is I'm just currently trying to learn, you know, the ins and outs of 3D printing with resin. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll keep you posted on this guy painted and his diorama and things like that, so you can get a little idea of, you know, my imagination and how I like to create. Okay, you guys enjoy your night. Take care. I hope everyone's well, and have a great rest of the week.